Take down those anti-aircraft guns. I need to bring the dropship closer. You should be able to reach the anti-air cannons from the catwalks along the outside of the transport. Probably takes a lot of energy to float that hunk of junk. Focus, Swindle!
Decepticons, this is Starscream. The mission is lost. Abort! Abort!
Abort? You've got to be kidding, Starscream! It's only a matter of time before we disable the transport! Anti-air cannon yet? Swindle and use your booster! Don't think we try that. Already on our way. Jump on the dropship and man the cannon. Let's see if shield holds up to that. Take that gun out now before it takes us out! Take that gun out now before it takes us out! South of them, Swindle! Hit it! We need to take control of this ship. The
Hello and welcome to another random review. I am the main host as always, Mr. Takashi. Today we are looking at the Amazon paint of Fall Cybertron Bruticus. The reason why I say Amazon paint, I mean Amazon.com and Big Bad Toy Store. We're selling the Generation 2 paint scheme of the FoC Bruticus. And what makes this special, I'm going to have to actually pull out. It's actually in a Generation 2 style box, which makes it even better. Over on the side here, you can actually see what you would look like in a Generation 2 cartoon. Not bad. Coming to the side here, provided Mr. Lamp over there actually wants to cooperate, Brawl is kind of hard to see because he's dark green on this cover, even though he's actually pretty light green there. Again, my lamp doesn't like to work with me all that well. But it shows you Blast Off, Brawl, Onslaught, Swindle, and Vortex in their robot and vehicle modes respectively. And on the back here, it's got some like word gobbledygook up there, another Generation 2 logo, then it shows a close-up of his head, of his gun. The only thing I don't like about this box, or the pictures really, it's more so the pictures than the box itself. The pictures do not show Brawl's gun anywhere, and the reason being is because it's kind of hard to see, but they always show Brawl's gun as part of his body, so he has it, it's just not on him. The picture anyway. But coming over here, let's actually get a zoom in on this thing. The 5 Combaticons alone are enough to give pause to even the mightiest Autobot force. When they combine into Decepticon Bruticus, they become the stuff of nightmares. He easily destroys his enemies with ultrasonic waves or a smack of his massive hands. Once he has begun on a path of destruction, no force in the known universe can stop him. And then looking at his tech specs, my camera doesn't really like to zoom in and create clarity. I'm really sorry about that. He's got a strength of like 9.5 and intelligence of 3, or maybe that's 2.5. A speed of looks to be like a half, I guess. I'm not sure. Endurance of like 8.5 or 9. A rank of 5. Courage is the same as his strength. Firepower is surprisingly an 8, despite this guy being huge. And then his skill is a 6. So pulling out, when we get a look at the side of the box, we can actually, oh, my camera will, again, Mr. Lamp, as you can see in the reflection of this box, not being the best of help. Coming to the bottom here, we see him again. Some logo for Transformer Collector Club. My camera, for some reason, is being fuzzy, and I don't know why. So I'm really sorry about that. And then coming to the top, let's get that turned around. Generation 2 logo again. Decepticon Combiner Bruticus, Decepticon Giant Warrior. Weapons combine into the Sonic Cannon. Again, it's not really showing that because I'm just throwing this intro together a little sloppily, if you ask me. I mean, you saw that I played my game to introduce Bruticus. And then, but again, I really like the paint scheme because not only does it do the G2 colors, it also does the G2 Decepticon logo for these guys, and oddly enough, I like the G2 logo better than the current logo. It's more menacing, if you ask me. It's also cooler. So, well, I'm gonna open this guy up, play with him for a bit, and then review him for you guys. I'm really, really glad my friend got this for me as a late Christmas present. I am again going to be working from the side of my camera, so forgive me if anything is not in frame. This is probably my third Transformer review, and this one is going to be crazy bit long. If you want a shorter review and of the San Diego Comic-Con version where it's the game accurate colors, link down there in the description bar will take you to Pia's review of this guy. Now, some things that I really, really, really love about this guy. The fact that it's the G2 paint, so they're all in their G2 colors. That's one of the reasons why I love this guy, because if you look at the San Diego Comic-Con version, there is way too much beige in it. If you look at the retail version, there's way too much blue and green in it. This pretty much just breaks all that down. The only constant color in here is purple, but the way it's spread out is done right, and I love that. Let's go ahead and actually bring this in on his chest. You can kind of see how he's actually got the G2 Decepticon logo pretty much stamped all over him. So, and I'm actually going to be doing this in reverse of what others will usually do, which is where they will review the individual robots first and then do Bruticus together. Me, I'm going to go reverse, and I'm going to go Bruticus first, and then dissect Bruticus into his components, making it probably a better review in my mind. Not sure how you guys will like it, but here's my go. To start with, I'm not really fond of Blast Off being an arm. That's the only real nitpick I have, so at the end of this video, when I'm done talking about all of this and its components, I will bring in another shot of him with a different limb configuration that I like. Because, like the Scramble City combiners from way back when, all the limbs are interchangeable and can be different limbs. Like, each leg can be the opposite leg, or the legs can be the arms, and the arms can be the legs. You can swap it all around, and it's got the ability to do that. Let's actually take a look at the instruction booklet. It actually has the G2 logo there as well, so these guys went thorough with everything to make sure it was actual G2, minus the whole it being Fall of Cybertron. So that's what I like. So Amazon, Big Bad Toy Store, congrats on doing it up right, making this all G2 retro. I may be turning 20, but I've been a huge Transformers fan all my life, and I've been researching so many different Transformers. Anyway, I am getting way past, or way off track here. As I said, at the end of the video, I will show you a limb configuration that I like better than this. Only because I don't like the gorilla arms. Now, for posability, you can come up here, you can turn Blast Off at the arm here, and then bend them here. That's okay, but at the same time, it doesn't really bend like Vortex over here does. Vortex actually has more opposability as an arm than Blastoff does, but that's just a minor nitpick. You can rotate them here at the joints, but you gotta hold the joint to really move these things because of how stiff they are. His head turns 360 as part of his transformation. As I was playing with this guy, I would usually just turn him at the waist here, and it would look like he's punching something on the ground. And this guy doesn't really want to stand all that well for the camera. So, again, bear with me on this. Okay, he is able to hold the gun in any hand for any limb. The gun is made up of Blastoff's blasters, Vortex's blades, Brawl's gun, and Swindle's gun. So again, I am in front of my camera as I do this. I'm going to set this off to the side back here. As you can see, he's got like a karate chop hand. Unfortunately, you can't really bend that, but one of the things I like about this hand is you can actually flip the thumb over and make it the other side arm. Now that's cool. He is able to come out here at the leg, kind of bend back up here at the hip, bend at the knee, twist at the knee. You gotta be careful because these aren't like the power core combiners where they twist up here, they actually twist down here. Articulation is the same for the Swindle leg. And he does have his gun back here. Now, the thing about the weapons, these actually came as solid pieces, especially for the Blastoff blasters and the Vortex blades, and even Onslaught's gun came as a solid purple piece. So, before I actually, when I took this guy out, and before I decided to do the video here, I went ahead and I took a Sharpie and I just went over the parts that I saw in the box, and saw those colors as well. Now, there's only one problem I hate about Onslaught. Well, actually, there's a few things I hate about Onslaught, but I'll get to that later. But, let's set the weapons off to the side for the moment. And, now, let's get into the breakdown of... Well, first, before I actually do the breakdown, let's get into size comparison. Here he is next to, Dark of the Moon, Jetwing Optimus Prime. And I'm not sure if I'm really getting that in view too well for you guys. So I'm going to try. He's taller. He's actually taller than Optimus. Not by much, but he is taller. In comparison with a toy from this line, I have the Fall of Cybertron Optimus here that I reviewed like a month ago. And this guy, Bruticus, just towers over him. Now, if you ask me, this is actually a pretty decent scale. So, and then I have a Power Core Combiner down here, just to show you what I'm talking about, how it turns here on the power cores. In fact, let me remove a joint. It turns here on the blue piece. So, and then just as another size comparison, and I got Steam Hammer here from Optibotimus as well. I'm gonna be reviewing. I may or may not review this guy. I don't know. Only because Bruticus pretty much just put the Power Core Combiners to shame in my book. But there you go for a size comparison. Now let's actually break this guy down and see what makes him tick. Okay, so here we are with Blastoff. To get him into robot mode from limb mode, you're just gonna push this back up in. Push that in there. Pull this back in. Straighten it up. Let's remove my tripod. Okay. Still get something on here. That should do. Okay, and next you're just gonna separate back here and collapse the legs together, and then just spin them forward so that the black parts are in front. Next you are going to come back here and split the arms in half, fold them up, and then pull this piece back so you can flip the entire body forward and then just snap it in front and then close that piece back up. Now, coming up here, you're going to be taking this little bit here. I'm not really in the way. There's a little piece there, and it's going to tab into that hole there. What you will see in other reviews of this guy, how people are afraid of this joint here because you have to force it in. You really have to kind of just force it in, and it's a scary thing because you don't want to be transforming him all that often. So there, pull the arm out, and then just back in again. There we go. And there is Blastoff. Now, Blastoff is actually really cool, especially in this white configuration. I actually like him better white than he is beige or blue, because it actually brings out the silver a crap ton more than the blue and the beige do. It just does. Plus you got the camouflage tips on his arm wings, so that makes it cool. And then you just got these big bulky shoulders that are freaking awesome on this guy. For posability, his head is on like a swivel. His arms are a bit weird because the shoulders are on this weird ball joint where it's down here, and then the arms are actually up in here. So it's kind of a weird thing, and then he's on like a double hinge in his elbow. No waist articulation, unfortunately, but he's got like a double swivel on his legs here, a swivel at the upper thigh, and then a bend at the leg, and no feet articulation. It's a decently posable figure if you're not too bad on the awkward shoulders. This guy's just really, really good. Let's get him closer here. It's actually a very, very nice face sculpt there. My camera doesn't like to zoom. I'm really hoping to upgrade my camera soon. So, but yeah. Anyway, that's Blastoff in robot mode. To get him to vehicle mode is not all that complex either. What you're gonna do is you're gonna come back here, open that latch up, fold his arms up into his shoulders, and then just carefully get them out of those joints. Again, you gotta kind of force it, and I don't really like that. I just don't. So it makes me feel like I'm gonna break it. Flip him all the way up, and then close this. It will latch in place. Then you're going to bring the arms down, peg them together, and then peg them into the back of the jet. Next, you're going to take the legs, turn them out, and then fold them up. And there is blast off in vehicle mode. It is a very, very nice vehicle mode. It's very Cybertronian-esque. And it's also very G1-esque, as you can actually see spits of purple camouflage in there. You can see the Decepticon logo in there for the G2, to keep this guy G2. The paint scheme keeps from G2. The black really just shows out on here, and it's beautiful. So yeah. The big turbine in the back makes him really G2. Well, actually, really Cybertronian, excuse me. And he's just very, very fun. We'll see him later. And next comes Vortex. Vortex, as you see here, is in his limb configuration, as everybody else will be in their limb configuration when we look at this. He's got the propellers up here on his arm, and in the game, this was actually pivotal because it was your shield, and it was also your ramming tool. Then he's got the karate chop hand here. Not a big fan of it, but if you're going to combine all the weapons, and that includes the double barrel blaster that Onslaught has, and you put it in this hand, it hides the karate chop, which I find nice. Now, it's actually easier to go into vehicle mode for this guy first, so let's go and do vehicle mode for him, and then put him in robot mode. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the connector, and you're just going to push it up in there. Next you're going to straighten this out, turn it there at the waist. I'm working with bad lighting, so excuse me. Flip out the gun in front, and flip the hand back in, and then just snap the legs together. Next you're going to come to this middle section here and pull it back, and just fold it back into the body of the helicopter. And then you're just going to open up the propeller, and that propeller actually spins quite nicely. Even on a hard thrust, that thing spins quite nicely. I like his helicopter mode. It reminds me of a bug, especially with the gun in front, acting like a stinger. He's got the Decepticon logo on both sides, which I like. The windows just really adds to that whole bug look that I was just talking about. And this is, in the game, this is how he looks before he goes into hyperspeed mode, where the propellers will all fold in back, and then he'll form wings somehow. And so that's his hyper mode, and this is his regular vehicle mode. Okay, and now to go into robot mode, excuse the sound of that, that was a sign. To go into vehicle mode, we're going to detach the legs from the body of the helicopter, split this in half, fold the gun up, and then just fold out the legs, folding in these sidebars here. So leg down, sidebar in. Next we're going to take the back of the helicopter and just fold it forward. Collapse the propellers, fold them off to the side, and then unhinge the arms. We're going to fall back, and then they're just going to unfold. Fold back, and unfold. You just have to be wary of the propeller here in robot mode. Next you're going to turn the waist around, so his legs are facing forward. Then you're going to drop this section here and turn his head around. And there you have Vortex in robot mode. Now the purple that I was talking about, how it's more spread out, it just is spread out, because you only see the purple on this guy in his camouflage when he's in vehicle mode. Then you only see the purple on him in robot mode. I love how they did that. It works. It by gum works. And then I wish they had figured out a way to put the propeller on the back, like in the game, instead of on his arm. But at the same time, you can use it as like a melee weapon, which is pretty cool. So it just adds to his double swords. Posability for this guy. Yeah, he can look up, and if you just get it past these little black bits here, he can look up to the side. But outside of that, his head doesn't really move much. Arms are on ball joints, so they can go all over the place. Then swivel up here at the lower bicep, and then his arms don't really bend at a 90-degree angle. That's about as far as you're going to get it to bend, which isn't bad. He has a waist swivel, which is nice. Coming in here, he has a ball joint for his legs, so that's pretty cool. Then swivel at the upper thigh. Then he's actually got a double knee because of his transformation. Feet and hands do not move. But this guy is just awesome. If I have to say so myself, he's actually, alongside Blastoff, he is one of my favorite guys on this set, because he just works. So let's take him out of the view. And take a look at Brawl next. And Brawl does not like to stand on his own as a foot quite well. Well, on my setup anyway. He's actually, if you have him transformed properly for the leg, he's very nice. The only bad part about this, and Brawl is probably the weakest of all of them, minus his vehicle mode, his joint here has nowhere to go in robot and vehicle mode, really. That, and when it's like this, it's just sitting out there bare. You know, no real way to actually hide it, like Swindles. So, to get him into robot mode from here, we're going to take the guns and pull them off the back here, and then just flip that up. Next, we are going to take the arms, detach them from the back of this, and we're going to, if my light will let me, come in here and pull it up, and then twist this around and fold it back in. Next, we're going to come under here and pull the legs out, turn, and then fold out his feet. So out, turn, and foot pull. From here, you can actually just detach the arms here, fold them down, fold out the fist, and then spin it around, and then slide it back into its natural position. What I'll do is I'll push the thing back here. So, again with the other side. Down, arm out, twist, and twist. Now you want to push that up so as it creates more of a stable body, and then his head is not really fun to pull out, but there's his head. Brawl does not want to stand on his own, mostly because of his freaking backpack back there with the cannons. But in a way, he's okay. You were able to play him in the first game, War for Cybertron, which is okay. But you didn't really realize he was going to be a Combaticon for the second game, and part of this transformation here. One thing I've noticed between all three of the paint schemes for Bruticus that have come out, technically 4 if you count the Takara version, which is way more detailed in the paint. That's a story for another time. Brawl is always green. No matter what, Brawl is always green. As you can see, he's got his Decepticon symbol up there on his chest. Very nice head with the silver mask and the orange visor. His guns are sticking up out of his back. He actually commands a scary presence, in my opinion. For his arms, because of the armor here, it's kind of hard to really pull them up. You gotta kind of have it come in first. Then you've got a ball joint here, and then due to transformation you can kind of move his hand. There is no waist. He's got ball joints in the legs, and then swivel here inside the thigh here, which really looks cool. Bend at the knee, and then feet kind of bend, but that's again part of his transformation. And like I said, his head is just not really being friendly with us. And for some reason he feels lopsided to me. I don't know why, he just does. So, I'll pull him back. There's Brawl. To transform him into his vehicle mode, we're pushing the head down. We are pulling the legs down. It's slight, but you're pulling it down. Now you're folding the feet up. Next we are coming around here to make it easier to see. We're folding up the hand, and then twisting this up. And then it will peg in up here for the arms to lock into place. So do the same on this side. It's kind of fidgety. Once you get the hang of it, it's real easy. Turn the legs to this side and then just accordion back up. And you want to have the arms out first before putting these up, because it just makes it easier. So, leg in, and then from here, it's actually easier to get this in, and then peg that into the hole there. So again, you want to do that on this side. Why aren't you in properly? And for some reason, this leg doesn't want to go in. Okay, that should do it. So, peg in. Come on. Okay, there we go. That's the best I'm gonna get it. And then there are 2 holes in the back of this thing. Not really sure if you can see it, but there are 2 holes, and then there are 2 pegs here. I find it easy to try and get one first and then the other by pulling out and then coming down over it. And there is Brawl in vehicle mode. Very Cybertronian-esque for his tank. I really love it. Come on. Don't know why this guy is messing with me. I seriously don't. And excuse the camera for shaking. I'm really sorry about this. There. No. There we go. Okay, now he's fixed. And then do whatever you want with the connector joint. Very Cybertronian-esque in his tank mode. I love it. He's got a very big Decepticon symbol right there on the tank front. It just makes him better. It looks like he's got like tank treads on the side to make him feel like a tank. And then the only thing I don't like is that the back isn't colored. I might take an orange Sharpie and color that in a bit, just so he's actually got working thrusters instead of just solid green. But this guy is a fantastic tank. It just is. Yeah, he's a bit of a pain to get into tank mode, but once you get it there, it's actually quite nice to see. So, let's go ahead and bring out Swindle next. Now, Swindle is actually easier to get into vehicle mode first, again. So I'm going to do that first, and then bring him into robot mode. Swindle is actually bigger than Onslaught, which, in my mind, that shouldn't really be like that. Because Onslaught is the leader, and he should be the biggest, especially since he's the torso and the head of Bruticus, but Swindle is a very nice size. Though feels hollow underneath, as you can see, hollow in the legs, and he's just going to feel very hollow. Right into it. Transformation into vehicle is quite simple. You just untab him from these two tabs down here, fold in the joint. It'll bring this forward. Then you just come back here and you tab them back in, but to the top tabs, because as you see in here, there are two sets of tabs, top and bottom. Bottom is where I just unplugged, top is where I'm plugging in. So, and then you just fold down the feet to reveal his exhaust back here, and here you have Swindle in vehicle mode. It is a very nice vehicle mode. However, if you saw in the beginning of this video, when I was playing the game, you will see that he was actually hovering for a short bit of time. This is him with his wheels down makes it his hyper mode. I don't like how it's all black in there. I might go in there with like a purple Sharpie and just give it some purple highlights, like maybe in the rims, just to break up that black. But other than that, it's a very nice vehicle mode. Very nice. But again, hollow in the back of the vehicle. I don't really particularly like that. I mean, if they had designed like maybe some flaps that went over that, just to fill it in, that would have been better. I would have been happy with that. But again, this guy, as you saw, I'm not sure if you've actually figured out, but I'm going from the best figure to the worst figure as I'm doing this review. So, Blast Off, in my opinion, was the best. And as you can tell, Onslaught is last, so he is definitely the worst figure. He is the one that technically brings this whole guy down, if not for the fact that he's the main component of Bruticus. Again, I'm probably gonna like take a purple marker and just go inside the wheel here, like around the design of the wheel itself, with like a purple marker, just to break up all that black. But the joint component rests in here. To get it out when you're transforming, you can just pull up on this and it will pull out. It's a lot better than trying to dig your fingers in, hurting yourself. It's better to just pull that up. But that's my opinion. Now for transformation into robot, what you want to do is you want to unplug his arms from there, on the sides, pull the front cab forward and up, extend his legs and rotate his feet out, and then twist the body around. Then you're, next what you want to do is, you'll see in here how there is a little slider bar. As you pull up, it will slide back. Optibotimus, when he did his review of the San Diego Comic-Con, he said you had to pull up and back, and it felt like it was going to break. For me, not so much, because it just naturally slides in. Same thing with the other arm. That's pretty much how high they go. Next, what you want to do is you want to fold these red bits forward and extend the arms. Then you're going to turn the exhausts up toward the sky on his arms. So that's, and again, forgive me if I'm not getting any of this in camera. So again, working outside of it, and you're gonna come up here, push in to get his head out. You're going to come down. It will peg in here, and then back in there. Next, just split the legs, and there you have Swindle. I like Swindle better in the red. I just do. It works better for him, because red is the color of blood, and Swindle deals with a lot of blood deals. So, the biggest complaint is he's got virtually nothing in the back. He's all hollow in the back. He's broad up front. He looks fine from the front. But you turn him around to the back and he's just nothing. It's like there's nothing there. Not a zilch. It's like looking at a stick figure of how this guy's, of how you want to draw him. Posability, his head, very limited, it turns from side to side on a swivel. Arms, not so much a ball joint, but more just, it just spins on there. Now, his elbow is kind of a ball, and you can't really turn the fist. You've got waist articulation due to transformation. Ball joint on his hip. Swivel at the upper thigh, and bend at the leg. And some foot posability, but not much. It's just to bend them down. But that's Swindle. So, let's go ahead and take them away and do the final figure of this configuration. With Onslaught. I actually have to hold Onslaught back here because on his pegs alone, he's still higher than my camera. His torso configuration is very nice. His head, very G2-esque in the paint scheme. His form kind of reminds me of his G2 configuration for combining Bruticus. As you come back here, you can actually see his robot head for Onslaught. For Onslaught, it'll be easier to go from torso to robot first, then to vehicle. So I'm just gonna take you from there. So first what you want to do is take the hands and kind of pull them down into the side. Next you're going to rotate the torso, which will kind of make this spin around. Untap the legs from the sides, and there you have his legs. Spin the arms, straighten them out, and then pose them however you like. flaps down, turn the head around, and come up, and his head is not completely transformed. What you gotta do is you gotta push till you hear that snap, and now his head is up. And then, if you want, because I don't have his gun attached to the rest of the weapons, you can give him his gun and give him like that military pose, almost. There you go. So there is his military pose. And as you can see why I colored the barrels of the gun black. It's because otherwise it would have just been one straight piece of purple meshing with another piece of purple on his arm. I'd rather break it up, so that's what I did. It's a nice weapon. Don't get me wrong, it's a very nice weapon. I just wanted it to have more color and break up the little configuration. So, for posability, let's remove his gun here. For posability, he rotates up here, but that's due to transformation. He has a bend at the elbow, and then there's a ball joint up in here due to transformation. Rotates at the swivel, but he looks like he's doing one of those exercises. He does not bend back at all this way. He can bend forward. Takes a bit of effort, but he can bend forward. Bend at the knee, swivel at the upper thigh, no feet. And then the head is kind of on a limited ball joint because of, again, the bits around his neck. So, that's Onslaught in robot mode. It's a nice robot mode. It distracts you. It pretty much just distracts you from his vehicle mode. And actually, I don't have robot mode completely transformed right. What you gotta do is you gotta come back here and then fold that up further, so as those bits are behind his waist more. I don't know why, but all my figures seem to be lopsided on my display thing here, so. But that's his robot mode. Vehicle mode is a bit of a travesty and a letdown for this guy. He's just... I'm going to show it only because I showed all the other vehicle modes and robot modes. I'm going to show his vehicle mode, but his vehicle mode is a letdown. First, what you want to do is you want to come back here and just kind of get that out of the way. Bend these up, and they will plug in here on this post here on the thigh. You want to make sure his legs are straight when he does that, though. And kind of bend those back. You're going to want to bend that all the way in. Then have those bent, and then they will plug into that there in the back. Next, fold his head forward, then rotate his arms around, then pull back, and the head will actually collapse into that bit there. There we go, now it stays. And then next you're just going to want to have the arms pointed back, then fold them up like so, and covering the face. Then you're just going to take the gun and plop it on top. There are pegs under the gun that will match with the pegs on the arms. And there you have Onslaught in vehicle mode. It's okay. I mean, it kind of hides Bruticus' face. But you're not really doing it justice with the arms and the legs. I mean, he's open in the back. I have a problem with that. It reminds me too much of the movie One Optimus. I hated that thing. It's why I got the Jetwing Prime, because the Revenge of the Fallen mold is a lot better of a transformation mold. Wheels do spin. They spin around these because you don't want these to move while you're trying to pose Bruticus. So, and technically you can also take these posts here and just fold them back. It works. It actually fills that in, if you ask me. So, very nice with Bruticus. And Onslaught's vehicle is just, it's a very much letdown. It's like they were just slapping him together because he's the torso. They just slapped him together. So, that is pretty much the Bruticus review. As I said, I was going to show you a configuration that I feel is better for this figure, so give me 1 minute and I will get back to you on. As you can see, I have swapped Blast Off and Swindle for their limb configurations. Swindle feels about the same size as Vortex when in arm mode. I very, very much prefer that over Gorilla Arm Blast Off, where it's freaking down to the middle of the knee. So, yeah. It's just that much better looking, in my opinion, to have Swindle as the arm. So, again, down in the description box, I have 3 links for you. The link to Pia's review of this guy as the San Diego Comic-Con version, where it's about half an hour long, so it won't be as long as mine. Then I have one for Optibonimus, who reviews the San Diego Comic-Con version as well, because he actually lives out in California and was able to get one. His is about an hour long, so you're going to want to pull up popcorn because ours are about the same length, I believe. Mine might be shorter after editing, but I'm gonna leave that to my editing and see how that goes. And then there is the link for Bolt Matrix's review of Bruticus, where it's the retail version, the retail paint scheme. And you will see why I prefer the G2 colors over San Diego and retail. Because San Diego, there's just way too much beige for the in-game character. And retail, it's just way too much neon blue and green at once. This guy, his purple is spread out all over the place, which makes it a lot easier on the eyes to actually see. So, yeah, give their videos a watch, because I've been following those guys for the past God knows how long. They are the reason why this channel is even in existence, because if not for them, I pretty much wouldn't have come up with the idea of making this channel to begin with. So, Happy New Year to all my followers on here. Don't forget to subscribe. Then follow the links down below to the Facebook page and our Twitter. Yeah. Until next time, stay randomized. And, Happy New Year.